In just a handful of years, the absolute top tier of China's military command has been, well, hollowed out. We're talking leaders, ministers, decorated generals. They're just gone. So, what on earth is happening inside the People's Liberation Army? And you have to ask, why would a leader as powerful as Xi Jinping take a wrecking ball to his own inner circle? All right, let's dig in and figure out what's really going on. So first we have to look at just how quickly and mysteriously China's most powerful military body was basically dismantled. Okay, check this out. It all starts back in 2022. Right after the 20th Party Congress, the Central Military Commission, or the CMC, has 7 members. This is the absolute peak of military power in China. But then things start to go sideways, fast. By 2023, the defense minister, Li Shangfu, he's gone. Then in 2025, Vice Chairman He Weidong and another member, Miao Hua, are out. The reason given? Disloyalty. And then, just 1 year later, the other vice chairman, Zhang Yisha, along with Liu Zhenli, are removed for serious violations, which, is usually code for corruption. I mean, the speed of this is just staggering. And this is what's left. By January 2026, out of that original group of 7, only 2 people are still standing: Xi Jinping himself and one other general, Zhang Shengmin. Think about that. The group that commands the largest military on the planet, cut down from 7 to just 2. It's the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? Where do they all go? And why? To really get that, we need to take a step back and look at a classic problem that basically every single authoritarian leader has to face. To make sense of what Xi's doing, we've got to zoom out. Because this isn't just a story about China. It's about this fundamental tension that sits right at the heart of authoritarian rule, something political scientists have a name for: the dictator's dilemma. And a great way to understand this dilemma is through something called the principal-agent problem. Just think of it like this. The leader is the principal, the boss. The military, they're the agent, the ones you hire to do the dirty work. Now here's the dilemma. You need your agent to be super strong, powerful enough to protect you from all your enemies. But how do you make sure that super strong agent doesn't one day decide to turn on you? This problem really has 2 parts that keep dictators up at night. First, there's the delegation problem. How much power do you actually give them? Give them too little and they can't defend you, give them too much and they might just take over. Then there's the control problem. Okay, you've given them the power. Now, how do you watch them like a hawk to make sure they're not abusing it? So with that whole dilemma in mind, let's zoom right back into China and take a look at Xi Jinping's very specific playbook for trying to solve it. Now, on paper, Xi's military reforms have 2 main goals. Goal number 1, make the People's Liberation Army, the PLA, a much better fighting force. Goal number 2, and this is the really crucial one, make sure that the military's allegiance to the Chinese Communist Party is absolute. And you can see the tension right there, can't you? He needs an army that is both more lethal and more obedient. That's the dictator's dilemma in a nutshell. And this brings us to a really crucial point, something a lot of people outside China don't quite get. The PLA is not a national army, not like the US Army or armies in Europe. No, it is explicitly the armed wing of the Communist Party. Its first loyalty is to the party, not to the nation of China. That makes political loyalty job requirement number 1, 2, and 3. So, here's his 4-step strategy to make sure that loyalty is laser-focused on him. Step 1. Launch so-called anti-corruption campaigns, which are a perfect tool to get rid of anyone you find disloyal or just unreliable. Step 2. Double down on systems like the CMC Chairman Responsibility System, which basically centralizes all authority directly in his hands. Step 3. Fill all those empty jobs with people you know are your guys, trusted associates, and proven loyalists. And finally, Step 4. Personalize the whole relationship, making the ultimate test of a soldier's worth not their skill on the battlefield, but their personal loyalty to you, the leader. But here's the catch. This obsessive focus on personal loyalty, well, it comes with a whole host of brand new and very serious dangers. This quote from some experts who were speaking with a Singaporean newspaper just hits the nail on the head. After getting rid of so many people, some of whom he was once very close to, Xi is becoming a lonely leader. He's surrounded by people who swear they're loyal, but because he's constantly having to test that loyalty, he might not truly trust anyone at all. And what happens when you do that? You create a classic and very dangerous echo chamber. I mean, just think about it. If everyone around the leader owes their entire career to him, and they know that loyalty is valued above everything else, are they ever going to bring him bad news? Are they going to challenge his ideas? Of course not. And that can lead to absolutely disastrous decisions because they're based on bad or incomplete information. And here is the biggest irony in all of this. One of the top generals who got purged, Zhang Yuxia, was one of the very last senior commanders who had actual real-world combat experience from the Sino-Vietnam War. So in this drive to create a totally loyal military, she is literally getting rid of the few people who actually know how to lead in a real war. So at the end of the day, this is the fundamental trade-off. She is absolutely getting what he wants, a military that is completely subordinate to him and the party. But the potential price for that is enormous. A military that's less effective, a force that might be great at political rallies but could easily stumble on a complex modern battlefield. Now, all of this internal political drama, it doesn't happen in a bubble. It has huge, real-world implications for what is arguably one of the most dangerous flashpoints on the planet, the Taiwan Strait. According to some sharp analysis from the Global Taiwan Institute, Xi's priorities have fundamentally shifted. For decades, the mantra in China was economic growth above all else. That era seems to be over. Now it's all about national security objectives and political objectives. And for Beijing, there is no bigger national security issue than Taiwan. But what do the people of Taiwan think about all this? Well, the polling data is pretty clear. There is an overwhelming rejection of Beijing's plans. Nearly 86% disapprove of China's threat of force. Almost 89% reject the one country, two systems model that was forced on Hong Kong. And a massive 85% believe that the 23 million people of Taiwan, and only them, should decide their own future. The disconnect is just massive. So, Beijing's response to this defiance has been to create what experts are calling a new normal. And what that means is near constant military pressure. We're talking fighter jets flying into Taiwan's air defense zone, warships constantly circling the island. All of it is designed to do one thing: wear down Taiwan's military, test their defenses, and create this feeling that invasion is inevitable. So let's just tie all these threads together for a second. You have a leader who has made national security his absolute top priority. He's purged experienced generals in favor of loyal yes-men, trapping himself in an echo chamber. And he's facing a democratic neighbor that is completely and utterly rejecting his vision for their future. A leader in that kind of a situation, well, he might just be more willing to take a huge gamble to get what he wants. Which brings us to our final and, frankly, pretty chilling question. In a world with stakes this high, with the peace of the entire region hanging in the balance, what happens when a lonely leader's only advisors are just echoes of himself?